Hello and welcome to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton, and welcome to the starting 11 show for tomorrow's EFL Cup fixture against Wolves, taking place at 7:45 p.m. The EFL games are always difficult to predict in terms of starting 11 because there always will be an aspect of rotation to it. I do think Moyes is taking these competitions seriously, as shown by how strong of a team he put out against Mansfield. So it's one of those where I don't really know the direction to go in this. I expect some rotation, but I don't know how much Moyes is going to rotate. Wolves have been terrible in the league, so a win against us in the Cup at home looks really good for them. But there's still rumours that there's still like 10, 11k seats to be sold and that Wolves fans have had enough. So it's one of those where there's an advantage here to take, an unfortunate advantage for us to take advantage of here, but I think we played very well against Liverpool in that second half with a much better team against the best team in the league. So there's no reason we shouldn't be doing the same to Wolves. But to get straight into things in goal, I am having one of these rotations with Mark Travers. I think he's good enough to play against a team like Wolves. I do think he's a high Championship, low Premier League level quality goalkeeper, so I do think he'll be fine against Wolves. We've brought him in to be a cup goalkeeper, and I think even against another Premier League team, he deserves to be the cup goalkeeper. I don't think that should change. I think Matt Travers should get the game in goal. But it wouldn't surprise me if Moyes goes for Jordan Pickford. At right back, I've got Jake O'Brien. Looked really good against Liverpool in stretches. So I think he has to start. To be honest with you, I think the entire back four will stay the same. So I do think it'll be Jake O'Brien, James Tarkowski, Michael Keane and Vitaly Mykolenko. I could see Mykolenko being swapped out for James Garner or possibly even Adam Asno, but if Asno plays, I see it being a cameo off the bench more than anything. I expect it to be Mykolenko. I expect a pretty strong team to come out because I do think Moyes wants to take this competition seriously and wants to try to take us as far as we can. So it's likely we will play the best team possible or close to the best team possible, with maybe one or two outfield players who we signed in the summer getting a chance to start the game. And one of those players I've got in the defensive midfield position. Now I think it'll be James Garner, possibly Tim Iroegbunam, just to give Garner a rest, probably leaning more towards Iroegbunam, to be honest, even though Garner was unbelievable against Liverpool. As I said, he would be in his natural position. Really, really good performance for him. But I've gone with Röhl if he is fit. I see it being more likely that he comes off the bench, but I think Merlin's really talented from what I've seen of clips of him at Freiburg, from the little bit I saw in his substitute cameo for Everton. I think he should be starting games. I think he should be the backup option right behind James Garner. I don't think it should be Iroegbunam, especially since we need someone who can progress the ball a little in that double pivot. So if anything, Iroegbunam should be replacing Idrissa Gueye, while Röhl replaces James Garner in these situations if possible. And then next to Merlin, I've got Idrissa Gueye. Again, I expect it to be Iroegbunam where Röhl is, but I'm going to touch wood and put some blind faith that it'll be Röhl starting this game. Idrissa Gueye, no surprise really. As I mentioned, every time I mentioned him, one of the best tacklers in the division. Got a really good goal against Liverpool, even though the first attempt at goal was absolutely dreadful. Got the first goal that for a second looked like it could have led to something. Unfortunately, it didn't. But yeah, good enough to start every game for us. It wouldn't surprise me if David Moyes rotated. But I don't think he's going to. I think it's only going to be one or two outfield changes, to be honest with you. 1 to 2, 2 to 3 outfield changes. I don't see it being too many, if I'm being completely honest with you, because I think he wants to keep the core of the team together for this game, especially since we're playing Premier League opposition in the Cup. On the right, this was difficult. I think Tyler Dibling will start, but I'm not 100% sure, so I've gone with Iliman Ndiaye here. Got his first assist, apparently, for Everton, which I'm not sure how true that is, because that'd be a shock to my system. Or first Premier League assist, anyway, for Everton the other day for Idrissa Gueye. Played really well again. I think he had the problem of the same one Grealish had, where they were being double teamed by the Liverpool midfielder and fullback. And then there was just no real support from them, from either of the fullbacks ends, from a midfielder really, in terms of overlaps and underlaps. I don't think there was enough of that support. Yeah, I think really good player, but it wouldn't surprise me if this is Tyler Dibling in this position. To be honest, I hope it's Tyler Dibling because he needs to play games and he needs to start games, and I think this is the perfect opportunity for him to start a game. In the middle, Kane and Dewsbury Hall, no surprise really. Again, there's a possibility here that Merlin Röhl plays in the 10 and Urabunan plays in the 6. But I think Merlin Röhl has been signed to play as a 6, as that box crasher. Again, though he did play Fellaini in the 10, and it looks like Merlin Röhl, who, although all the similarities out there, has been signed as that big ball-crashing midfielder who has lots of physicality. So it wouldn't surprise me if Merlin plays in the 10, but I assume it's going to be Dewsbury Hall. And then on the left, Jack Grealish. No surprise, probably undroppable unless he gets injured, to be honest with you. Another really good performance against Liverpool. But unfortunate, was fouled a lot of times, and Liverpool fullback just seemed to get away with it every time. Conor Bradley, I think it was. But not to harp on that game for too long, but Jack Grealish has been fantastic in 99% of the games he's played this season, even 100% arguably. The Leeds cameo, every game he started, I think he's been absolutely fantastic. The Leeds cameo, I think it was just him getting to fit that he didn't have to pass backwards or 5 yards every time. And then up front, I've got Thierry Barry. I think Beto put on an absolute disaster class on the weekend, just offered nothing. And I think we were much, much better as soon as Barry came on the pitch, to be honest with you. So I think we're getting to the point now where Barry scores against Wolves. That's it, Beto. You're not starting again, mate. I genuinely am at that point with him because although I like Beto, I made it clear, I just think he suits coming off the bench much more than Barry with the energy and physicality that he brings. I think Barry is much more suited to starting, while Beto does feel like a backup striker in terms of that he can come on in the 65th, 70th minute against tired legs and cause absolute havoc for them, which I think it suits him best, to be honest with you. I think that'd be the role that suits him best, and I think Thierry Barry needs starting minutes to get those goals up. Of course, he's still young, needs to develop, but I honestly already think 99% of the tools he already has are better than Beto. So I think we're getting to the point now where it's time for not sink or swim for him in a sense, but it's time to drop him into the shallow end and let him start swimming towards the deep end. But before we end the video, the starting 11 for this game, in my opinion, will be Mark Travers, Jake O'Brien, James Tarkowski, Michael Keane, Vitaly Mikalenko, Merlin Röhl, although I do actually think that'll be Urabunan, but again, I'm speaking it into existence that it's going to be Merlin Röhl. Idrissa Gueye with Iliman Ndiaye on the right, but don't be surprised if it is Tyler Dibling. There's a very high potential that it is, to be honest with you. Kane and Dewsbury Hall in the middle, Jack Grealish on the left, and Thierry Barry up top. But if you did enjoy this video, please make sure to like and subscribe. Follow us on Twitter at Everton Newsfeed and follow myself on Twitter at CallumBradden3. And I'll see you all for the next video and our live stream that I am on.